Good morning, church. Good morning, church. It's good to see you this morning, and it's good to have the house of the Lord nearly full, at full capacity. And it's great to have young families, a lot of young people from so many nationalities. And today we celebrate together International Women's Day. And for this, we have a special message, which I hope it won't be offensive in any way, but the topic that was given to me for this morning, it's this: the role of a wife that she plays in the life of a husband. So, because it's 8, I'm not going to be very strong on you, but we have to go where the Bible goes, and we have to confront whatever the Bible wants to expose in our lives this morning. So, I have this image that happened, or I've seen a couple of weeks ago. And I don't know if there's any secret for anyone anymore. I work as a painter and decorator. I start every morning, 7:30 a.m. But a few weeks ago, just before I started work, it was about 7:25, before I knocked at the door to this couple that was in their 70s. He was, I think, 75 or 76, and she was 73. I've seen the most beautiful image that I ever seen, and it was this. This lady, she was washing her cup after they probably had a bit of breakfast, a bit of tea, and the husband, in his 76 or 75, went behind her. He grabbed her nicely by the thighs, and he kissed her on the neck, and I could see them. He told her, "I love you." And I could see that love, that it made me go in front of God and say, "God, I worship you for this," because what I see here is like perfection. It was such a great image. Now, they couldn't see me at all because there was a window and it was quite dark. But what I've seen in that moment, it made me realize, when I'll be at that age, I want that to be true of me as well. And this wasn't necessarily a Christian couple, but the love they shared for whatever, 40 or 50 years, it was still as strong as it was ever. And I don't know how many of you grew up with this image in the house. The father being very responsible, and the love to be just visible everywhere. I don't know how many of you. I didn't grow up in a family like that. I don't remember maybe ever my father saying to my mother, "I love you." I don't think I've seen that. I haven't seen a model under my roof like that. So in many things that I'm doing in my family, I have to do exactly the opposite that I've seen maybe done growing up. But for you, maybe you've seen this every single day, because maybe your parents were Christians from the very beginning, and you had a perfect example. And this morning, we want to cherish the family, we want to cherish the women, and we want to cherish what God has put into our families through His grace, that today we are responsible to give this to our kids, to our children. So that's why I'm happy to see so many young families and so many people who will get married in the coming years. So, the role that a wife plays in the life of a husband, we could say this role is great. We could say this role is tremendous. We could say this is a colossal of importance. And my wife, she's not here with me this morning, but she absolutely played the most important role in my life. It's pivotal what she's done for me, with me. I was thinking to say who's on number 2, but maybe that's not good. Donald Trump. It's just a joke. So the role that the wife plays in a husband's life, it's absolutely pivotal. Every time when the Bible speaks about husbands and wives, it always starts with the wives, not with the husbands. We'll think God has to always start with the most important. But actually, God tells to the wives, you do this, you do this, you do that. Because as men, we cannot live a holy life, a good life, or we cannot fulfill our purpose and job and role if we don't have someone to sustain us, to uphold us. And the best image I could think of is this. The husband is the head of the family, but the head has to be sustained by the neck. There's no head without the neck. The neck doesn't have to become the head, but the neck, it's a help. It's something that sustains the head. So that's why it's so important. So the first thing I want to mention here, the first point is this. The wife, or her role, it's this. She must be a suitable helper for her husband. Because we found this in the Bible, and it's in Genesis 2:18. God said, "It is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him a helper suitable for him." So the wife, first and foremost, has to be a suitable help. When God created everything that he created in the first 6 days, at the end of each day, he said, it's good, it's good, it's good, it's good, it's good, it's good. But when God created Adam, and he had no Eve, for the very first time, he said, it's not good. It's not good. 6 goods before, but it's not good. And when God created Eve for Adam, what did he say? It's very good. So 6 goods, no good, and then God comes and he's doing very good. I don't know why God didn't create Eve from the very beginning, because it looks like God made like a mistake, or he had to do a second thing. I need to perfect this. But I think God is wise, and we cannot say this was a mistake. It's actually God who is saying at the end of each day, it's not a paper saying, what do you think about this? Is it good? Is it not so good? It was God who was passing judgment on each day, saying that it's good, it's good. But when he looked into Adam, it wasn't Adam saying, God, you create me like this, I've no one, I'm not fulfilled. It was God who made this observation, and he said, Adam is alone. Adam doesn't have someone beside him. I'm going to make him a help. So, the first role that a wife plays in the family life, it's this of a helper. This shows that the wife was God's provision for the man. The word helper does not mean someone inferior. And that's what we think so many times. If it's a helper, it's just something inferior. No, it means someone who supports, who strengthens, and complements her husband. That's the role of a wife. We might have different jobs, we might have different roles in the family, but all the roles are of the same importance. God didn't make man as his very best, and then he made a woman at his lower, inferior grade. God made in his image woman and man at the same level, but they have different roles, and we need to understand that this morning. The wife helps her husband in many ways, and I'm going to list a few. Supporting his God-given responsibilities in the family. Just imagine if wife, she's not supportive in everything what the family has to do. The wife encourages him spiritually, helping him follow God's ways. Just imagine if someone it's a pastor or someone who has duties in the church, and the wife is against. She doesn't see with the same sight, with the same through the same lenses. Just imagine the conflict that could be in that house. How much harder every duty, every job that has to be done in Lord's house is becoming. Instead of doing something out of joy, where we have the same purpose, where we have the same reasoning, just imagine how tough that can become. The wife, she's standing with him in the life struggles and decisions. Is that true? How many times we thought, on this occasion, I'm 100% sure we have to do this. And the wife, maybe she had a dream or maybe she had a feeling. She said, I'm not sure. Let's just let it cool for another 2-3 days. And then everything turned to 180 maybe. When the husband and the wife work together, the family becomes stronger and stronger. They are together than each of them being separate. And that's what God wants to see in a family. Unity. Total unity. So this is the fourth role, a helper. And the second thing I want to say is this. The wife has to respect and submit to her husband. The wife has to submit. And this is like a dirty word for this occasion. It's something that we don't want to hear as women. We don't want to hear this. We have to submit. But the Bible speaks like this in Ephesians. Wives, submit yourselves into your own husbands as into the Lord. And just before that, we have to submit to one to the other, it says. So it's not like a blank check that we could do everything we want. It's not like that at all. I'm going to explain it for you. Actually, the biblical submission is more often misunderstood. It does not mean inferiority or oppression. Instead, it refers to a willing attitude of respect and a cooperation with the husband's leadership in the home. So it shouldn't be seen as a burden. It shouldn't be something that I just have to do it. I have to do this thing that I don't enjoy at all. It's God's role. It's God's purpose. We didn't, not even ourselves as men, we didn't came up with this idea. The idea that if I'm a helper, I'm inferior, it's absurd. No one is inferior or superior in the body of Christ. No one. Everyone is giving a place, everyone is giving a job. So in here, if we are talking about submissions, we could make a few points. Respecting her husband's role as head of the family, that's one of them. The wife, she needs to be supporting his decisions and leadership rather than constantly opposing him. And I hope none of us lives in a family like that. Speaking with honor and respect whenever disagreement occurs. Just imagine if you're in a public place and the wife starts speaking something that shouldn't be spoken publicly about the husband. Like, just imagine the harm that can be done to a man. Sometimes as husbands, we are not as strong as we want to be. We have a softer side as well. And sometimes the woman is not a very soft vessel as it's presented in the Bible. But sometimes she can become very tough and very strong. And sometimes that's a good thing. But sometimes it could be a lot of factors, and I might mention that a bit later. So biblical marriage is leadership with love and submission, with respect, not domination. Not domination. Number 3, a wife's role is this: loving and caring for her family. Loving and caring for her family. In Titus 2, 4-5, older women are instructed to teach younger women. I wonder how many of you seen this in the Bible and you're doing exactly this. You see that you have to teach your kids, you have to submit to your husband, you have to help him in everything, but you have a duty in helping other ones, younger than yourselves, to teach them and help them. It's a wonderful ministry, I could say. It says in Titus, to love their husbands and children, to be self-controlled and pure, to be busy at home, and to be kind. What a beautiful list. The Bible places strong value on a wise love and care within the family. We don't have to be busy in somebody else's business, but first and foremost, under our own roof, we have to take care of everything that's there. So we could say here that this also includes loving her husband faithfully, showing affection, loyalty, and commitment, nurturing and guiding children, helping shape their character and faith. Absolutely so important. Managing the home responsibly, creating a place of peace and stability. Wow. Just imagine when you go home, you want peace, you want stability. The last thing you want the home to be is arguing every day. It's discussions with no end. It's different points of view. No, you want harmony. And when God sees that harmony, I think he's happy. Also, she has to show kindness and wisdom in her words and action. We could do a lot of harm with our words. Doesn't matter what gender we are, we could do so much harm. Now, throughout the history, it was seen as a blessing if you are able to have kids. It was seen as a favor to have kids. And if you didn't have kids, it was seen like a curse or something that, you don't want to be through this. And in many religions, in many continents, in different backgrounds, if people didn't have kids, they were even willing to sacrifice in order to get or have kids, because it wasn't prestigious not to have someone following after you. But today, we are encountering exactly the opposite. For the last 3 generations, what we hear, or what the women, the persons who meant to become mothers in the coming years, the message that was given to us by everything, like through broadcasting, through television, through radio, through internet, was this: to abort someone, it's normal. To kill someone, it's normal. Throughout the history, to have kids was a blessing. Now, more and more, to commit this crime, it becomes a normality. And I don't know if anyone done this in our church. I don't think something like this makes someone softer, someone more kind, but I think it toughens up, it hardens that person. But let me tell you, even if you went through something like this, even this morning you can get forgiveness in this place. Because there's no sin that cannot be forgiven of God. There's no sin. So even if you've done something like this, let me tell you, Jesus can forgive you. But I just want to tell you how throughout the history, the family and the roles evolved so much. And let me tell you, not in a good way. Not in a good way. And these were my 3 main points. But I would like to go a little bit in the history. I always liked history, and I used what I had, and I looked online. And I want to go into a few episodes of life that really impacted the family life over the last 100 years. And Elias, if you could help me, I want to go through them one by one. So as a conclusion of my sermon, we could say, the woman that was ordered to be kind, I'm not sure if the kindness is still there at the same level. We could say today's Western societies, they produce hardened women and softer men. And this is not a great conclusion. This is not good at all. Now, I would like to go into a bit of a history. Can you help me, Elias, with the first point? So, what affected the family over the last 100 years, one of the things that happened in the last 100 years is this: the rise of feminism and women's rights. In the early 20th century, movements within feminism fought for equal rights for women. And we could say this is good, there's nothing wrong with this. But just see how we develop and how we got here. Just one by one, keep going. So a few key milestones that include women gaining the right to vote in many countries after the World War. Before, only the men could vote. After the World Wars, this was granted to them as well, which was absolutely applause. Greatest access to education and professional careers. Legal protection against discriminations and abuse. Again, a lot of good stuff here. These changes allowed many women to participate more fully in the public life, pursue careers, and gain financial independence. Now, it becomes a bit trickier, okay? Keep going, thank you. Effect on the family. More dual income households. Just imagine, same income, both bringing an income home. Just imagine, do you think there's some extra discussions taking place in the house? Or it used to be when the man was the only one bringing an income and looking after his house? Greater equality in decision-making within marriage. So if I bring home the same income, I want to have a word. I'm not agree maybe to submit anymore because I bring the same amount of money or maybe more money. So just imagine the abuse that happened over the family just with this. And this is just 1 out of 5. Now, changing roles in the home. Traditionally, family roles were often structured with the husband as the primary provider and the wife focused in home. So the husband was the bread earner, he was the hunter before that, and the wife, she was the homemaking, she was the housewife, and she looked over everything under that roof. And, and the children. During the 20th century, especially after the World War II, many women entered into the workforce. So what happened throughout Europe and United States? A lot of the men were in the war. The women started producing in factories, guns, whatever, like pistols, like bullets, everything. They start using the farming equipment, the tractors. So when the husbands went back, a lot of the women, they gathered so many skills that they said, okay, it looks like we are at the same level. Or if we are not at the same level, there's not much between us. Okay, keep going. Now, some of the effects. Household responsibilities increasingly shared between the spouses. Less time spent in the traditional homemaking roles. Families balancing work, childcare, and home life in new ways. Can you see how the family developed more and more? And these are huge episodes and huge decisions that they really impacted on the family. Can you continue, please? During the 1960s and 70s, movements like the sexual revolution reshaped social attitudes towards marriage, sexuality, and family life. Now, I don't know, you probably read about Woodstock that took place in the 60s in the United States with the Beatles, with Jimi Hendrix, with The Who, and so many bands like that. And we could say out of that, the hippie communities came out as well, where they lived, and I cannot mention a lot of stuff, what happened there. But these, in a very short span of time, were absolutely put an immense pressure on the family. Now, what happened here? Wider acceptance of divorce. See? When we looked at the list, this seems okay, there's no problem. This is okay, this is okay. I'm not so sure about this. But look how it evolved. Just because of these few points, a wider acceptance of divorce. And we know God hates divorce. God hates separation. So see the impact of culture, it's huge upon all the families and even on the Christian families. And it's so important to see where we take our morals and our principles from. Is it from the Bible? Is it from the Word? Or is it from the society? Is it from the mass media? Is it from foreign forces and information outlets? Changing views on motherhood and marriage. This is dangerous as well. Why will I be just a mother? Is this not such a small, not important role to be a mother? Let me tell you, I think Charlie Kirk said that it's the most important role, it's the most noble thing to be a mother, to be a housemaker. A greater emphasis on individual freedom and personal fulfillment. So a lot of the wives, they said after this, I want to go to work, I want to have the same income, I want to be able to take decisions, I don't want to depend on you only. Are we not going to have a large family? Well, maybe we're not going to have any kids at all. Just see in today's society if we are having more kids or less kids. What's the answer to this? Less or more? Less. In all the societies, all the Western societies, we don't have the replacing rate anymore. In all of the Western societies, we don't have the replacement ratio anymore. The only country, Western, which has that, it's Israel. And I'll let you think why. Now, a few effects on the family. Divorce rates rose in many countries. More single parents households. Marriage sometimes viewed less as a lifelong commitment and more as a personal choice. So see, we started with so many things, nothing wrong with voting, nothing wrong with the wife to be working, but now we are into divorce, now we're into careers, now are into, I don't even think we should get married. Like, we could do the same stuff even without being married. See how easy it is to dilute the family. See how easy it is to just take the world view and not the biblical view. Do we have more? 4. Economic pressures and family structure. In recent decades, economic conditions have also shaped family roles. In many places, it has become difficult for families to live on a single income. Many women work outside the home not only by choice, but also by necessity. Childcare systems and shared parenting roles become more common. Just imagine childcare, right? Because we both working, somebody has to mind our kids. We have to give them away. And you think this is a net positive? This has a net positive impact on our kids or a negative impact? Just think of that. Just think of that, how the society is putting pressure on us in many ways. I think this is the last point. ongoing debate about family and gender roles. Today, there is continued discussion about how best to balance equality, opportunity for women, stable families, and strong marriages, career ambitions, and raising children. Is that everything? Some people see these changes as progress towards equality, while others believe they have weakened traditional family structures. Like if you go back through thinking of all this, it looks like someone came up with a plan how I'm gonna weaken the family step by step without being too revealing. So, because that person has time, and it's probably the devil, a lot of our family structures are much, much weaker. And he's done that throughout the years, gradually, little by little, and now we are where we are today. Anything else, Elias? No? Do we have that photo as well? Okay, put that photo. How many of you have seen this week or over the last couple of days this photo? Can you raise your hand? No? Do you have Instagram or Facebook? No one with Instagram or Facebook? Okay, I'm not going to go into much with this, but it just says this. It was released by the Dublin Zoo, right? And it says, St. Patrick's and Mother's Day. This is the most beautiful mother. So when you see something like that, it just shows you that the country you're in which direction it's gonna go. So if you thought what I read and what I showed you, it was bad, it was wrong, we are heading to a wrong direction, this is what's next, this is what's around the corner. And you know what? It shocked even me. That's not a woman, okay? We don't celebrate her today. What shocked me is that I've seen whatever this is, it doesn't even strike me anymore. It doesn't even strike me anymore. And this is the power of just, the power of the drop. Just add a little bit more of poisoning, a little bit more of evil. And then you realize, how did we got here? How did we got here? Because we are Christians. So, in conclusion, I want to say this. The more we read our Bibles, the more we are committed to God, we're going to stick with the biblical family and with the biblical roles, which are not always easy. And we have to submit ourselves and we have to keep our mouths shut in so many things. I never seen in the Bible something like, if the wife is more wise than the husband, if they do an agreement and they realize actually she is more clever than him, she should rule the home, she should rule the house. I never seen something like that in the Bible. So we either extract our values from the Bible, or we keep the Bible shut, we don't live the Bible, we don't care about God, and then we look into the society. What's trending today? Do I have to put a beard on? Do I have to abort my kids? Do I have to just replace them with cats and dogs and I have nothing against them? But where do we take our values from? And I hope all of you who have young families or they are to have kids and families in the coming years, they stick to the Bible. They stick to the Bible. Because you are raising the next generation of kids, and as a result, you're raising the next generations of Christians. That's my message. Amen.